So over the last 7 years, I've worked with multiple brands within the Middle East and GCC regions, and we've helped brands scale to multiple 6, if not 7 figures per month in revenue through paid advertising. And we've seen a common trait when working with new clients or other brands in the market that approach us to work with us, and that is most of these brands will struggle in 2026 because they don't have the key fundamentals to actually allow them to scale in 2026. So I've made a presentation going over exactly what I've noticed over the last 7 years worth of paid advertising knowledge. We spent north of $100 million in ad spend for our clients. And I'm going to combine all the lessons and issues that we've seen over that time period on this one presentation so you guys can extract the value. So sit back, relax, and let's get into my screen. So this is why most e-commerce brands in the GCC region will struggle to scale in 2026. And this is basically what the winning brands are actually doing. And I'm going to walk you guys through some examples so you guys can see that in real life examples. So let's get into it. First things first, the e-commerce gold rush is over. It's now no longer 2020, 2018, where brands could essentially just run ads, grow incredibly week on, and see higher X return of ad spends with low acquisition costs. There's just way more competitors in the market right now, and it just doesn't work like that anymore. There's a lot more competitive analysis that needs to go into your campaigns. There's a lot more thought process that has to go into your landing pages. And the market has just changed in such numerous amounts of ways, right? And that's just the reality of it. The gold rush is over, right? You're probably looking at your ad account, like my guy here, trying to search for the gold, trying to search for the ROAS, and it just isn't there anymore because you're probably not paying attention to the close things that matter right now in 2026. And this is what the winning brands are doing. Okay, so as you can see, the competition has never been higher. In your niche that you probably run on your branding, you probably see new brands that you pop it up on your For You page or in the ads library almost every other week, right? And that's just because more brands are launching every other day. Customer attention is limited. The age of long form ads have really slowed down. The age of long form YouTube videos have slowed down with branding, and now people are more susceptible to brain rotting, super quick reels, super quick TikToks, quick second hooks. The way the market has changed in terms of consumer content has really changed over the last couple of years, right? And that's just the way the market's flowed. Now, the biggest problem is mainly going to be your visibility. Your customers just don't know who you are. The platforms just don't know who you are. It's probably because your creative isn't getting the attention that it needs for your brand to do well. Now, the best product doesn't always win. You can have the best product in the world, and you can have another brand that has a very, very mediocre product, okay? But they're getting more sales than you. They go more viral than you. They're getting more results from their paid ads than you because they are able to capture more attention than your whole brand altogether on a couple of videos, right? And here's an example of that. So this is an example of a brand called Sanucci. They're a UK-based brand, but they run ads all around the world, including the Middle East. And look at some of the kind of video ideas that they create, and they run these as ads also. As you can see here, they've done like a pop-up store in London or something like that, and they just created some sort of crazy hype, and they made a clip out of it, right? Very, very simple video. And they just did this to drive more attention. And people are like seeing this on the platform and thinking like, what the hell is going on? Let me watch it. And they go ahead and drive the product that they did, the pop-up store, to those landing pages of that one video, right? Really cool incentive. I'm going to play it again so you guys can see. Quick pop-up store. They said they're giving out free products, something like that. And they got a mad rush of people that came to the pop-up shop. And that drove a lot of views and attention on it. And then want to use that as a top of funnel ad and got a lot more people onto the brand, onto the website, just off these kind of creatives. And they do plenty of creatives like this. This is just one example that I found in a couple seconds, right? So the brand that is the most visible usually wins. Okay, the one that can get the most attention usually wins. Remember, attention drives growth. The reason why all these streamers nowadays and all these YouTubers are making so much money is because they are able to drive a lot of attention and then monetize that off the back end through info products or through e-commerce stores or through merch or whatever it is. They are able to drive that attention into physical dollars. E-commerce is the same thing. If you can drive attention and you convert that in the back end into dollars for your store, that is how you're going to win, okay, in 2026. Now look, organic reach is dying. It's still an incredible traffic system, okay, it still works, but it is dying. It's not what it was back in 2020 where you could launch a couple of ad creatives on TikTok and a couple of ad creatives on Instagram Reels, and hopefully they do well and do viral. Yes, some Reels do go viral still, and they can still drive growth, but it is declining, and you do not control the algorithm. No one on this earth, besides Mark Zuckerberg himself, completely, 100%, entirely understands the organic algorithm on Meta. No one does. It is so complicated. There's so many different variables. People may think they know what goes viral, and they go viral a couple of times and it works. Yes, of course, but they cannot predictably do it every single video. It's impossible. Otherwise, everyone would be billionaires, right? Think about how many people are on the platform of Meta, right? Now, the only thing you can guarantee is how well your paid ads produce, because you're paying to play. You're paying ad spend to these platforms to be in front of those audiences. It's a different game to organic. You're not relying on the algorithm. You're relying on your skill and intuition. Referrals are unpredictable, of course, because I don't know a single brand after 7 years of being in the industry that is scaling really well purely off referrals. Like, the game has just completely changed. Paid ads is where it's at. So you can see here, this is the brand that I mentioned earlier, Sunuchi. These guys are running 210 ads right now, and they have a really, really big organic profile. This is their organic profile right now. You can see, look at the creative diversity that these guys are running. Okay, so these guys, they have a women's brand, okay, but they also have a podcast channel as well. But let's look at this. Look at all the different creatives that they're doing. They're doing in-person creatives, okay, they're doing World Cup-based creatives, working with footballers on brand with the World Cup right now. Look at the different variations of creative. They're posting like 2-3 reels per day. So if these guys are doing really good revenues, and you're a smaller brand watching this, and you're not creating creatives, how can you expect to win? When you have a brand like this who's doing 8 figures, 9 figures a year, and they are working this hard to create this amount of content, and you have smaller brands who are saying that they can't create content. You should be going out of your way to create so much content that it is impossible to lose. Okay, this is just an example of them. And let's look at their ad library. Look at the amount of the ads these guys are running. 210 results. Okay, loads of different variations. Okay, we're going to go onto the type of landing pages that they're running the ads to also. But again, they've got their videos that we saw on Instagram here. Okay, they've just got a great amount of variation that they're running on the ad account. Another reason why brands are losing is because customer acquisition is getting more expensive. Of course, the rise in competition, the rise in CPMs are affecting that. The higher CACs are also going to be affecting that. And most brands just don't have the best systems and enough data to produce better returns from their ad spends. That is usually the case on why they're facing higher acquisition costs, higher CACs, and resulting in higher costs in general, where it's killing their ROAS and killing their potential returns of investments. The brands that win just do things differently, and they think differently. Sunuchi is an example. They are creating so much volume of content, that they are creating so much market data, that they're going to understand what works well, because what works well with organic works well with paid ads. Because paid ads is just literally forcing growth in front of organic viewers. It's the same platform. It's usually in front of the same people. We're just pushing by force that paid creative in front of the audience. But if we get free data points through organic and it's working well organic, you're already going to have winning ad creators. The ones that are performing really well on organic are going to perform even better on paid ads, because we're just pushing that in front of more and more people. Most winners ask themselves, how do I build a customer acquisition system? Whereas most brands nowadays ask themselves, how can I get as much sales as possible, right? How can I get as much return as possible in the front end? Because if someone sees your brand at the very start, okay, of their journey, it may take them 7 to 8 touch points before they go ahead and become a customer. Now, how do you make those touch points? Through retargeting ads, of course, but through building a bit of a community on your Instagram pages, on your YouTube channels, or on your TikToks, or wherever you're advertising. Building that community element is where they're going to keep seeing your brand, keep seeing your faces, okay? And that is where you're going to get your customers coming back to you, okay? Why meta ads matters more than ever. Meta creates demand. Google captures demand. The strongest brands use both. If you can combine a great Google ad strategy mixed with Meta, you're going to have a winning formula. And this is the formula that we 100% launch with all of our brands, okay? All of our brands, we make sure that they're running Google ads, and we make sure that we're running Meta ads. Because if you think about it, Google ads is a lot harder to get right, but the quality of customer that comes from Google is usually much more higher intent. Now, this is why. Picture yourself driving down a highway and you see billboards. That is Meta ads. Meta ads, people aren't going out of their way to go ahead and purchase things on Meta. They're looking at social media, they're looking at family, their friends, they're looking at celebrities, whatever it may be. They're browsing and they see an ad for a product that could be potentially interested, our targeting. They then go ahead and make a purchase. Whereas on Google ads, imagine someone going to a mall, going to Zara, and go ahead and making that purchase. They are literally going onto Google to search for something specific, and that is why the costs are higher, but that is why you get a better intent customer. Now you combine those two together, you have a great winning formula. That's why we use both for our brands, and the strongest brands use both. The biggest mistakes that I see, okay, over the last 7 years, particularly over the last 1 to 2 years of working with different brands, is they're not testing enough. They're not using enough different creatives, okay, and they're launching too few ads, and they're just giving up way too early. Launch 5 ads, spent a couple £100, couple $100, couple hundred dirhams, and didn't see any returns, and then killed off paid advertising, giving up way too early. You need to give your ads at least 60 days of vigorous testing, vigorous landing page researching, and vigorous variations to understand if it's actually working or not. Okay, if you're just giving yourself a couple £100, running a couple ads and expecting it to perform really well, you're just killing it way too early. Okay, and that is the huge mistake that I see brands do, and that is why you're not getting the returns that you're seeing. Okay, of course, your product has to be sustainable. Your product has to serve a market fit. Those things are all a given. Okay, you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't understand that. But if you have all those foundations in place and your ads aren't working, this is probably why. Now look, this is the big point that I see so many brands struggle with, and that is the landing page problem. Everyone is running ads to the homepage right now. Everyone is running ads to a generic homepage and expecting results, and it's just not there because it just doesn't work like that anymore, right? You need to send ads to dedicated landing pages or to dedicated collection pages. This makes your funnel way more direct. This ensures your funnel has way more intention and your conversions will improve rapidly. This is an example of it. Let's go back to Sanucci. Okay, I'm going to use this as an example throughout. These are the ads that they're currently running, the actual paid ads that they're currently running right now. I'm going to click on a random ad here, directly towards the landing page specific for that product. They're not sending me to a generic homepage, okay, where I could get lost. They're sending me to the exact page on the product that I saw. Let's go to another one. Let's go to the jeans. Bang, right to the jeans that I literally clicked on the ad. Let's go to another one. Let's go to here. I clicked on the tracksuit. They're going to send me directly towards the women's tracksuits, the women's page of that exact product that I clicked on. Again, directly towards a collection page, not a generic home page. Okay, this is what I mean by landing pages, and this is what brands fail at far too often. Okay, sending their customers towards generic home pages, and they're losing the attention span instantly. You need to be creating fresh landing pages directly for certain products with reviews. Okay, let's go back. Let's look at what is actually on these product landing pages. What makes a good landing page? Good payment options. Okay, Apple Pay is huge. By adding Apple Pay to some of our clients' landing pages, this dramatically improved their conversions. They've got reviews on here as well, very clean, good clean add to cart button. They use Klarna as well, which is also really great. Very, very brief product descriptions here, guarantees, deliveries, and also other products that is relatable to the product that they added to the cart, again, to improve that average order value and the average cart value for that particular sale. Okay, really clean, simple landing page, nothing too crazy. Community will help, aid, and will beat advertising to a certain point. Products can be copied, ads can be copied, but communities cannot. Okay, so if you're building a good community around your brand, you'll build that loyalty. Sanucci have a really great community. Mentioned it before. They build communities around their brand. People want to be part of Sanucci. People want to be part of the trend. They want to be part of that athlete, hybrid, streetwear, athlete kind of brand, right? They want to be part of these brands, okay? If you're not building a community around your brand, you'll really harm on your longevity, okay? And that's what's going to differentiate you and your competitors. No one can replicate your community. It's very, very hard to do this, and it takes time, it takes effort, it takes budget. But once you do that, you will have a base of customers that are always going to come back to you. Your email list are always going to come back to you, okay? You're going to have that foundation of sales always there, and you're just going to win off the back of that. So this is what winning brands will do in 2026. Okay, you're going to be a winning brand after watching this, and this is what you're going to do. You're going to launch way more creators. You're going to launch 5 times more creators than you're currently launching right now. You're going to guarantee success with that. You're going to build more custom landing pages based off what you've seen off this video today. You're going to use Meta plus Google. You're probably already using Meta right now. If you're not using Google, you're going to use Meta and Google combined together. Again, remember that theory based off running to the mall or going down a highway and looking at the billboards. Focus on your retention, okay, and build your community around your brand. Your 2026 exact growth formula is going to look like this: creative focus, traffic, conversions with your landing pages, retention with your community. That is going to be your formula for scale. Okay, that is how you're going to win. Final thought: the winners don't always have bigger budgets. Yes, they have budgets because they've built their foundations and they're reinvesting off the profits that they've made from the smaller stages. Okay, they just have better systems. Okay, and this is what we help our clients. We inject the systems that we see working with all other brands, particularly brands in the UAE, particularly brands in Saudi markets. Okay, and we just inject what's working into the newer clients that we work with. If you want us to audit your brand, okay, we are doing free audits. Okay, through the meta ads, for Google ads, for your landing pages and your creative strategy. You can connect with me with LinkedIn. You can connect with me with Instagram. Okay, I will leave my handles below. And hopefully you guys found this super valuable. Appreciate your time. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're looking to see more content like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.